I am a psychiatrist. I graduated from the Northern State Medical University in 2010. In 2011, I received a specialization in psychiatry. In fact, I love psychiatry very much. And when I read something for the first time in 2004, I even remember that it was a monograph on pseudo-hallucinations. And I was blown away. It was so interesting and so fascinating that I even gave up all other studies. Psychiatry is probably the only discipline that really caught me for the most alive. And I am still interested in it. It's been more than 14 years. When I was studying and reading a lot, I was a student, and there was such a romance in psychiatry that such a science is very interesting. And then I worked as a doctor and came across the fact that as a doctor I had to perform some specific actions, follow recommendations, work according to standards. And I saw that in practice, psychiatry can help people to a small extent. That is, as a rule, mental illnesses and severe disorders are chronic, and it is almost impossible to cure them. And what do psychiatrists do? They choose treatment. They treat these mental disorders, and then a person lives on this treatment, and psychiatrists try to achieve long-term quality remissions. What does it mean? It means that a person has no symptoms and they live a normal life. They can work, they can be socialized, that is, there's some quality of life. But at the same time, frankly speaking, the therapist rarely thinks about how this person feels inside, what they feel, how they perceive this world, whether they have depressive thoughts. What is it like for them in these remissions? Psychiatry says honestly that we do not know the reasons for many mental illnesses. There are many theories. They are very different. Some of them have a rational grain, some do not, but the point is the same. We do not know the reasons, it is true. We try to make life easier for people, using our knowledge to the maximum. And it's very sad to realize sometimes that treatment does not help, or it does not help completely. And before I thought, well, how is that? I studied for so many years, I read hundreds of books, without exaggerating, literally hundreds. And in fact, except for treatment and some kind of emotional help to a person, I can't do anything. When we see that a person has a really sick psyche, we can't fix it. At the training, it became clear to me why psychotherapeutic methods do not work. Because they do not affect the root of the problem, the source of the problem, and they cannot, at least because they do not know the reasons. This is the first reason. And the second is that a person must come to the results themselves by changing their perception. If a person decides to take the training and is willing to listen and try to understand the minimum, they will be able to figure out their problem so that they don't have to seek help from specialists. Psychotherapists, well, the need in psychotherapy disappears. Well, if the need in medical treatment disappears, the psychiatrist can solve this. There may be a need for treatment, but only this training can remove the cause. I believe that system vector psychology should be the main subject at the university, especially in medical. This will contribute to the advancement of both medicine and psychiatry. And thanks to system vector psychology, psychiatry could stop wandering in the dark, find the causes where they do not exist at all, in principle it cannot be, and know how to develop further. Knowledge is necessary for just any doctor. At the training, I understood the psyche of people so deeply, as I could not understand before, not with the help of psychiatry, not with anything else. I managed to see the reasons why a person develops one disorder and another does not develop. Another has another, and why one person can be, say, mentally healthy and the other is not very. Why one person can get depressed and the other never. Why one person can have panic attacks and for what reasons, and the other cannot have them in principle. At the training, I was very suspicious of some things and tried to check them. And there was even such a thing, especially when it came to mental illnesses. On the one hand, I saw that, well, yes, it's so, I saw it, it seems. But on the other hand, I could not just accept that at the training in psychology. Sorry, things are revealed that psychiatry does not know. For me, it was like, well, psychiatry does not know anything, but at the training, they know this. How can this be? I decided to check it then. At that time, I had a fairly large practice with children with autism. I went to work and began to observe precisely with the aim of refuting and writing to Yuri, well, stop your training. You can't say such things. And I watched, tried to figure it all out, and for 20 sometimes I thought, wow, is it really so? Is it really so? And now I see the reasons why it is so. There were a lot of such moments of recognition. A lot of them. Yes, the training works. Yes, it is observable in life, and I could not refute it. Although I had such thoughts. After the training, I began to see the root of the problem of a person, their problems. And it helps me to work better with them. People with mental problems, where do they go? They go to a psychologist, a psychotherapist, or, well, to a psychiatrist. And sometimes this migration takes a lot of time, and the problem is not solved, but only intensified. Not always justice is served. We must say that psychotherapy can give some relief. This is how we can say, but not a solution. Because the solution lies in understanding the human being, their problems, precisely in the deep understanding of the structure of their psyche. When they look inside themselves and understand, that's exactly what's happening to me. And when this happens, everything changes by itself. And a person does not have to go further to a psychotherapist to undergo long-term therapies. Training in system vector psychology of Yuri Berlin helps to change one's life and understand other people. These are practical skills that a person uses for the rest of their life. Before the training, I did not feel myself in my place. That is, I did not have a special interest in work. I did my duties, but I could not find an individual approach to a person. After the training, I see a difference in people's states. And even depending on this, different drugs can be used. That is, if before I did my job, did everything that was necessary, but after the training, I began to be interested in people, their inner world, and their inner state of mind. I began to listen to them and look at them with such interest that I could not even stop. I wanted to continue the therapy, to go further and further, to go to me more and more. It was very cool. I just began to rejoice in every new person. I do not get tired of them. I have no burnouts. I think it will never be. For me, system vector psychology is a unique scientific method for self-healing, for learning about the world, for a happy life.